Hi, I'm Jim, and this is Called to Battle. I was thinking about something. Delivery. Yeah, that's right. Delivery makes a big difference. How people receive something or do something can really be based on delivery. I was reading a book, and the guy was talking about how he's in a coffee shop with a couple of friends, and this guy's outside carrying a cross with a bullhorn. And he's yelling, "All perverts, gays, and Catholics are going to hell," which is quite offensive. Uh, I don't really think it's your best approach on doing stuff. And so he's yelling this, and the guy said, then some people got ticked off and they went outside and actually punched a guy in the mouth, which is not an appropriate thing to do. And, guy's bleeding, and I said, like, not a great way doing it. And so this guy who's watching this goes out and helps the guy up. The guy looks at him and says, well, if you're not being persecuted for God, then you're not doing it right. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. It's interesting that delivery make a difference. Now, you can come at sharing Jesus completely differently and people will receive it. Or you can go around insulting people, tell them they're going to hell, and see how that goes too. But delivery makes a big difference, especially in relationships. Your delivery can make a world of difference. Now, you can walk up to your spouse, walk up to your wife, your girlfriend, and say, "No, you're so annoying. No, you drive me nuts," and that goes over like a lead balloon. First of all, you're putting a person on the defensive. You're getting them all upset and crazed, and you're insulting them. And I mean, what's funny is like, yeah, all of us love to be insulted, don't we? We all are hoping that people come up and just bash us and insult us. I mean, we don't like it. No one likes it, but yet we do it. Why do we do it? One reason, the emotions are going. We're upset. That's why I love my saying about men. Men reject passivity. Accept responsibility, lead courageously, expect a greater reward, God's reward. But men reject passivity. If you're just going on emotion, man, no, you're bracing passivity because you'll just fly after something, or even that's not leading courageously. That's leading like a coward. When we respond by just emotion, we're not thinking things through. We're not assessing how's the best way to go forward from here. We're just, boom, letting the emotion run, and it doesn't end well. And usually when emotions run, it doesn't end well. It doesn't end well because it's not a good way of doing things. But the approach can make all the difference in the world on dealing with something. And if you learn to approach the right way, you can make great inroads, and over time, you communicate better. I mean, if my wife says something that upsets me, or I think she said too harshly or something, I can come and just yell at her about that, or I can have a conversation with her about it, saying, you know what, just on when you said this, I'll admit I got upset over it, but let me tell you why I got upset over it. And so I'll just be honest with her, like, instead of calling her a name, instead of insulting her, it upset me. Of course, no one likes that. That's, oh man, telling how it impacted you. Oh man, make yourself vulnerable. That's just not a good thing. No, that's the approach. It's like, no, if it's someone you love, you're in a relationship, man. If you cannot get somewhat vulnerable with that person, you're just in serious trouble. The relationship's going to go nowhere. But it is a vulnerable thing because you're admitting something you said upset me. Now, the comical thing is everyone knows you're upset anyway. The only person you're fooling is yourself. There's a great bit by Brian Regan I love. I think Brian Regan is like one of the best comedians out there. I love him. I've been to his concert a few times. And he talks about, this is a great bit where he's in this conversation and they're talking about art. He knows nothing about art. He just wants to get out of the conversation. And he goes, I say, no. He goes, I let out that word, I love art. When it's like, oh, no, not that. And people said, really? What art museum do you like? And he's like, I can't think of an art museum. So he says, the Louvre, yes, because he heard this one in France. I love the Louvre, which of course is pronounced Le Louvre. And of course he gets it wrong. And he says, and they're like, what's your favorite saison? He says, oh, Winter. Okay, great. And they're like, well, do you like Monet? He says, I love Monet. When I was in France, I spent a lot of Monet. You know, I love it because it's like, he's doing the joke that he's trying to impress people, but everyone knows he doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. Of course, we all do stuff like this. That's what makes it funny. But no, so when we acting like something doesn't bother us, most times people do know it does bother us. So it's in the presentation, either it can go well or it can go poorly. And many times our presentations, it goes poorly. And that's a problem with relationships, why they don't do well. We just don't know how to present. And remember, this is a person you value. Learn to be honest with them. But when you do it well, over time, it goes better. This actually just happened about less than a week ago with my wife and I, which I started laughing. No, remember, we've been married 37 years, and we've had tons of conversations. And at my church, I'm on the music team. I'm the drummer, and I'm not as organized as I should be. And I've been trying to get my music more organized because I don't use sheet music. I write my own drums. We have a different type of sheet music, but I write my own music to it, and I have my own. Like if any drummer looked at it, they would say, "What the heck did you write?" But it tells me how to play each verse. It tells me how each chorus. It's my own language, and so I have all these sheets, and and they're not in alphabetical order. And I have a book of them, but then I have other loose pieces, and it's so when we're looking to do music, it takes me a while to get my music, and I've been meaning to organize it, and I haven't, and I should have by now. And so my wife is after a practice where once again everyone's waiting on me. My wife and I are at home. She says, "I need to talk to you for a second." I'm like, "Okay, what's up?" And when she says that, of course, a lot of husbands cringe. "Oh, we got to talk." Oh no! But my wife says it. I know it's going to be fine, and she doesn't attack. She isn't mean, so it's cool. And so she says, "We need to talk." He said, "Okay, what's up?" She said, "Okay. I was trying to figure out how to word this, and I was going to try to massage it a little, and and coax it a little. But no, we've been married a long time. We've had a lot of conversations. And I just start smiling. I'm like, "Okay, honey, what did I do?" She says, "You really got to organize your music. Where it's music practice is being delayed quite a bit because you're not organized." And you're like, "You're right." I said, "I know, honey. I've been meaning to. I promise it's going to get done this week." In which I did it. This week I did it. I just completed it by the end of the week. But why would I be insulted by that? Most people would go, "Oh, I can't believe you said that." But it's true. I have been delaying the team. No, they're waiting on me because I have not been as organized as I should have been. I have not. No, I get the music in advance. At times, I have not prepared it in advance. I've waited till practice, which is the wrong thing to do. And my wife didn't say, "Hey, you're a jerk. You know when practice is. Every week you get a notice when it is. Why can't you just do it in time? You're holding us all up. Well, you're just being an idiot. You're being irresponsible." She could have done that, but she didn't. She just said, "Honey," she said, "you got to organize it better. We are getting delayed." And during the conversation, she goes, "I know you don't want to delay us, and I know you want to get to it." I'm like, "No, you're right. She was right. I'm delaying people." But she didn't start calling me names. She didn't insult me. She just brought a fact up to me. And we've been married long enough where she can do that, and I'm not going to be insulted. So, in relationships, if we cannot bring up a truth, and if we tell somebody up a truth about us, and we're going to be offended, we may have a problem with truth, and we may have to work on that. Now, if they bring up a truth in a harsh and nasty way, then that's not great. I mean, I remember the movie Liar Liar with Jim Carrey, where he goes around this room. And if you haven't seen the movie, Jim Carrey is unable to lie. And he starts telling people what's wrong with them, and they said no because he's telling the truth. I was like, no, he wasn't telling the truth. He was being mean. I said things he said were just mean, and they may have some truth into it, but he did it in a very harsh way. Of course, you're laughing because it's hysterical and so forth, but I'm like, no, that's mean. We can give truth without being mean. Presentation will decide how the conversation is going to go. Like my wife could start, "You're being a jerk," and I would have been defensive, and I could have been defensive, and the conversation would have gone nowhere. Or she can do what she did. She brought up truth with me. She was not being nasty about it. Actually, I knew she was trying to help me out. But if we get, it's in a presentation. Don't attack. Be nice, and bring the truth in, but try to find a solution. Don't be trying to find that the person's wrong. Find a solution. do a good presentation, find a solution, relationship will go much better. All right, that's all I got for you today. Hope you're having a great week. I'll talk to you soon. God bless.